So now that we have awaited the user's permission, what we want to now do is look at actually creating a notification in our application. Now for this, we're just going to do this on a page refresh so we can see things notify us every time that we refresh the page. You can, of course, bind this to perhaps a click event or any kind of event that we want to. Now, the way that we can create a notification is simply saying new notification. Now, if we hover over our notification constructor, you can see that it accepts in a new instance, it accepts a title of type string, and it also accepts an options object. And this question mark denotes the fact that it is, in fact, an optional parameter, and it expects the type of notification options, which we can dig into in more detail as we continue. But for now, really, we want to just look at this new notification constructor. Now, the title of the notification, I like to use an example of playing perhaps a new song. So we're going to use a speaker emoji, and we're going to change this to now playing. If we were to hit save, this is going to recompile. However, because at the moment we have permission denied, if you don't already have this over to allow, when we then go ahead and hit refresh, we then see this now playing with localhost 4000, which is, of course, the port and domain which we are serving the notification from. If we wanted to add some text in below, this is where our notification options come into play. This will then nicely add some auto-completion. You can see here that we have things like body, which will allow us to add some text. So this is one of my favorite songs, Mr. Brightside, and that is by The Killers. So if we were to save this out, we then have this now playing Mr. Brightside, The Killers. So you can see how this is quite nice if we were to perhaps change or have a real-time application perhaps, and we navigate away from our application. We can start to see how we could pass new arguments into this constructor, and we could keep our title the same and just change the actual text of the body. It might be that this is from a Slack notification, for example, of a real-time chat application where the body changes every time a user then sends us a new message. Now, alongside this notification options, we also have the option to specify an icon. Now, I've already uploaded an icon for this. If you want to go ahead and upload your own or copy it down, we can go to imgur.com. If you want to copy the domain, go ahead and type things out, or you can go and upload your own image. Once we hit save, we'll then see our notification with an icon, which is one that I uploaded to this image service earlier. One limitation at the moment is we cannot upload things such as SVGs. It has to be a rasterized image, such as a JPEG or a PNG. Now, one thing I want to do is create a notification, which is almost going to act as a nice little factory for us. So instead of us defining a new notification every single time, we're going to pass our data in. So the first argument is going to be now playing, and then the second argument is then going to be the name of the song, which means that we can break out our new notification into a nice notify function. So we can say const notify equals accept a title and a body, and inside the body of our arrow function, we can then create that new notification. Now, because we are using const notification, we do in fact need to return the new instance so we can do things with it, such as bind events and also close that particular notification. Now, at the moment, we're not binding our title, so let's paste this in and also create a shorthand property of body. So this is going to take our argument here and bind it as the property of body and also the value. It might be that we want to also use a closure, perhaps passing in a single image and then using the return body of that function to then pass in the song name, so we don't have to limit ourselves to the particular arguments. But that would be a more advanced use case if you wanted to go down that route. So if we were to console log our notification that we get returned from our notify, we'll save this out and you can see that we have this notification. Obviously our notification, we can click and that hides that nicely. We can expand our object and you can see that we have body, data, icon. There are lots of things in here, and if anything jumps out to you that you want to know a bit more about, then I'd definitely encourage you to have a dive into these in your own time. Now, one thing that I also like to do, if we were to block our notifications and then refresh the page, we're actually going to be running the logic. For example, if we're going to start doing something with this notification variable, we might want to actually know that it exists. Even though we do get an object back, it might be better that if the user has denied notifications for us to actually handle this in a truthy or a falsy way. So you can see here that we get our notification back even though our permission was denied. So in the next lesson, what we're going to do is look at this .permission property on the notification global object, because we can use this object directly or we can use it as a constructor. We're then going to bind some events and look at targeting a particular window when a notification is clicked. So that's it for this lesson. We've looked at the new notification constructor. We've created a small factory function. We've wrapped an icon with a PNG image. Anytime we go and hit refresh, we then see our notification. If our notifications are, of course, allowed, we've got notifications enabled for this website. So you can see now that we have now playing. What we're going to do is now safety check the permission property, and I'll talk you through some handling of truthy, falsy values. And then we're going to start binding some click events.